Hello everyone. So I welcome you all to lecture 6 of Sociology Uncomplicated series. And today we will discuss topic which will consist of variables, sampling, hypothesis, reliability and validity. It seems boring and challenging to many students, but after this class you will have crystal clear understanding of all these topics. Myself Aditya, and we are covering the entire sociology optional for free of cost. I just need a few comments, likes, and share of this video, and a bit of good wishes. So, without any further delay, let's start the lecture. The variable. What is the variable? If you are from science background, you must have seen x, y, z, and all these linear equations of different degree. If you are from non-science background as well, you must have seen these variables in class 6, 7, 8. Until 10th class, you must have read mathematics. So what it is in sociological research, the beauty of variable is why we use X, why there is a need of these alphabets. Now let's assume I have to conduct a research. And in research, if I have to understand about the entire population, they will vary in their age, they will vary in their gender, they will vary in their income. So I need something in which I can store their values, something which can take multiple values. And for that only variables were designed. So if I am saying X, X can take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on the experiment. So it can take 2 or more values. At least 2 values it should take. Then only it is varying. Then only it can be called as a variable. If it has just one value, then it is a constant, not a variable. Now, if I have to find an interrelationship between the income and education, say for example, so I can store the data of income of the entire population in X. And I am storing the education of the entire population of, say, for example, Delhi with Y. So how, if my income is increasing and decreasing, how it is impacting the education? Is it directly proportional? If my income is increasing, my education is also increasing. If my income is decreasing, my education is also decreasing. Or it is inversely proportional. That is having a relationship like income is increasing, education is decreasing. So for that purpose, we need variables. To conduct sociological researches, we need variables. There are two broad categories of variable. The first is called as explanatory variables, and the second is called as extraneous variables. So what is that? Explanatory variables are used for analysis. Like if we have to analyze the level of education in erstwhile depressed caste, then how I will do it? I will use explanatory variables. Extraneous variables are not part of study and can be controlled variables or uncontrolled. Now, what is controlled and what is uncontrolled? Controlled are the variables which I will keep constant. Like if I have to conduct research of Dalit community, I will divide it in 3 parts. Dalits who earn more than 1 lakh, Dalits who earn less than 1 lakh, okay, and Dalits who earn less than 10,000 a year. So this is called as controlled variables. And then I'm analyzing the other variable. It can be education, it can be health parameters, it can be anything else. Uncontrolled variables, which I'm allowing to vary freely. Okay. I hope you are understanding it. Then there is dependent versus independent variables. What is independent variables? As the name suggests, they are independent. They are manipulated by the researcher. If I am doing the research, I will manipulate it. Okay. And dependent variable will change with respect to the response. Let's understand like this. So I am deciding the population that I have to conduct research. According to that, I am deciding independent variables. I will try to research 15 to 29 years of people. Okay. So I am trying to now analyze among the 15 to 29 years of children, what is the level of health parameters. Now, the health parameters are dependent on the age group that I am testing. So it is dependent on the independent variable. Independent variable, who will choose? I will choose. The person who is doing experiment will choose. And the other variable will depend on the response. You went to a 16-year-old girl and asked, okay, how is your the growth conditions? How is your gut condition? Okay, that will vary. But the age group I am deciding. Gender I am deciding. Location I am deciding. Okay, so this is the first thing is independent. The second, which will vary, is dependent variable. Example, let's take more example. A teacher compares lecture, question answer, and visual methods. These are different teaching methods. Verse is independent. Okay, I can choose it. I can choose lecture, I can choose question answer, I can choose visual methods. Students' understanding is dependent on what method I am choosing. If I'm trying to use jargons instead of trying to simplify with example, so your learning is dependent on what method I am choosing. So what method I'm choosing is independent. Your learning outcome is dependent. I hope now you are clear with it. Then there are further more classification. One is called as experimental variables. What is it? It details the investigator's manipulation. Okay, like availability of book, libraries, good teachers. Measured variable is referred to measurement of outcomes. Like rural development measured can be measured using various approaches. Rural development you can measure through purely income based approach or literacy based approach or infrastructure. You can go and check a place and see, okay, infrastructure is very good. So this place must be very developed one. Or you are going and checking the human development parameters, or you are just checking the income, average income, per capita income. Okay. Then there are active variables as well. One that is actively manipulated during the research. One that is measured, one that is the main target. Okay, is called as assigned variable, and active is one that is manipulated to judge your assigned variable. Okay, if I want to check the condition or the condition of women between 15 to 59 years, how many are anemic? So I will choose some active variables that will be manipulated. Manipulation will be based on, okay, I can manipulate the income level. Assigned variable will be one that is measured, that is not manipulated. What will be measured? The health condition. Okay, you don't need to go very deep into it, just understand it. Surfacial understanding also of all of this is enough. I am giving you a content. Even if a 20 marker comes in variable, you can write it thoroughly and you can get maximum possible marks. We also have qualitative versus quantitative variables. In the previous lectures also, I had talked about quantitative are things which can be quantified. Numbers can be quantified. If I have to analyze the difference between income, difference between age, difference between health condition, these can be quantified. Then we have qualitative, in which there are not numerical units. I'm trying to analyze discrimination faced by Dalits. I'm trying to analyze the discrimination faced by a woman working in multinational company. Is there a glass ceiling or not? Is there an invisible glass ceiling or not? Condition of minorities living in any nation. For that, I can't quantify. Okay, that is called as qualitative. Some rules were given by Therese Baker to categorize. They must be mutually exclusive and exhaustive. So he talked about dichotomous variable. Dichotomous means only two categories will be there, like male and female. Only two categories are there. Continuous variable where infinite possible values are possible, like intelligence. Intelligence can be a person can have a very less level of intelligence developed in the present circumstances, and some may have a level of intelligence which can be categorized as genius. Okay. And if we are choosing variable, what does it mean by exhaustive? Okay, so it exhaustive means, first of all, the variables that you are choosing should be clearly defined, and the purpose should be also clear in the mind of a researcher. If your purpose is not clear, if you are not using and categorizing variables properly, the entire research will fail. Then we have positive versus negative relationship. Both variables move in the same direction. Like if my father is tall, I will be also tall, directly proportional. Negative relationships, the variables are moving in opposite direction. Like age is increasing, life expectancy is decreasing. That's a negative relationship. So I hope you understood the first concept, that is the variable. Now let's move towards the next concept, that is sampling. Why we need sampling? If I want to analyze the health condition, again I will come to the same point of 15 to 59 years of female. Can I conduct a door-to-door survey in almost 30-40 crore families? Can I do so? It's very difficult. It's impossible. Doing it regularly is impossible. You can do it in 10 years or 12 years once. But we need recurring data. How we will do it? So we can't do it for 30 crore. We will choose a sample of, say, for example, I will conduct the research for 1 crore or 2 crore population. That is called as sampling. And there are various methods to choose that. A sample is a part of population which you want to study. Simply, you need to understand this. The another concept is target population. So target population, which you want to target, the age group, the gender, the income level, that is called as target group. Okay. Sampling frame. So the operational set of cases from which the sample is actually drawn. The basis of selecting is called a sampling frame. How you are selecting the sample? What is your process? Now we will go deep into the types of sampling also later. But first of all, you need to understand the criteria should be very clear. If your purpose is to do a qualitative analysis, your sampling should be also suiting the same purpose. So a researcher needs to be properly trained. If this step goes wrong, everything will be wrong. Nothing can be cross-corrected. Come to objective of sampling. Why we are doing sampling? We want to estimate the population's values. We want to test the hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative relationship. We will go deep into it. Tentative relationship that you make among your variables, and that you will be testing. For that, you will choose a sample. Okay. So, okay, I cannot do a research among 30 crore population. I will choose a sample of, say, for example, 1 lakh population. You must have seen the exit polls, etc. They also work on the basis of sampling. They are talking about the entire state, who will win, who will lose. They can't conduct the research for the same. It's very difficult. So they also choose sampling method only. The purpose of sampling was given by Serentokus. What he said about the purpose of sampling? He said that the population may be too large or scattered for complete coverage. Too scattered, too much variability, like in our nation. The variability is way too much. For having higher accuracy, small numbers are easier to manage. You can manage them precisely. You can't manage the data of 40 crore, 50 crore population. Third, he said that we can produce faster results. We can avoid data being outdated, like your census data, 15 years old. It has become outdated. We need an FHS survey. We need PLFS survey. Then it is less demanding on investigators. Investigators can't handle that much of data. It is less demanding on them. They can also become more and more accurate. It is also more economical. Otherwise, you will need to spend crores of money. And it is necessary when testing destroys the item. That is, quality testing of bulbs, if you have to do, can you do it on 1 crore bulb? Can you do it on 10 crore bulbs? No. Then principles of sampling was also given by Serentakis. So Serentakis had said that units must be chosen systematically and objectively. Systematic method, there should be a method, and you have to be objective. Otherwise, the entire experiment will fall. Units must be clearly defined and identifiable. It should be clearly defined. It should be clearly identifiable. And also, units must be independent of each other. Same sampling units used throughout the study. You can't change the sampling units. You have to keep it constant. And selection must avoid errors, bias, and distortions. You shouldn't have errors. If sampling has error, then the entire experimentation will not be able to give the accurate result. Biases, if you are biased, then you will exclude, say, for example, minorities or gender. You will distort the entire result. What is the advantage and significance of the same? It saves the time, it saves the money, and destructions of units as well. Your accuracy will increase. Greater response, you can allot more time for one individual. So you can achieve greater response. You can achieve greater cooperation. And it is easier to supervise. Now, with fewer investigators, you can supervise them also with ease. Representativeness matters more than size. If I have to find the data in as massive country as India, I have to ensure that I have representation of even tribes. I have representations of Dalits. I have representation of minorities. I have representation of different people speaking different languages, living in different region, having different income criteria. So I have to be more representative rather than just I am having 50 crore population and my sample is not representative. That is very, very important. If a sample is biased, it will misrepresent the entire population, as said by Yule and Kendall. Personal judgment will invite the bias. Now, let's see types of sampling. The first is probability, where everybody has equal chance to be selected. It's called as probability sampling. Like you are simply throwing a dice. 1 to 6, anything can come. So it is probability sampling. If I am, what I'm doing is, I am saying that, okay, 4, 5, 6, I am coloring the dice, and that will not be valid. If 4, 5, 6 will come, it is not valid. I have deliberately chosen 1, 2, 3 only. Then it is a non-probability method. I am applying some purpose, some stratification, some judgment, and not everyone has equal chance. That will be non-probability sampling. Now let's see, in probability sampling also, we have various types. Like it can be simple random sampling. Simple random, every possible combination of the units, like if I have 100 people, every possible combination is possible. Everybody has equal chance of selection. It saves time, it saves money, it saves labor, and it improves accuracy through better supervision. We can also have stratified random sampling. Population can be divided into similar groups, strata, like we can have different age groups, we can have different income group, we can have different caste groups, and random sample is drawn from each. Within them, there will be randomness. It ensures there is representation. It ensures there is it is more reliable than simple random sampling of the same size. And it is very much important where the units that you are selecting is diverse. Then we have non-probability sampling. So there is no claim to be that everybody has equal chance. Researcher will decide the unit. So the very first method is quota sampling. You are dividing a population into groups. An interviewer is deciding a quota from each. Okay. So I have 50 people and high income group. I am choosing, okay, 5 people from high income group. I will try to ask questions based on marketing. Okay, what mobile you use, how you use. No? So I'm deciding the quota for each of the group. Then purposive sampling. So researcher have some purpose, researcher have some judgment, and he is selecting typically those people only in the representative group. Purpose is there. I want to analyze the condition of the women who are divorced in a society where divorce is still a taboo. So this is my purpose, and based on that, I will decide the sampling. My units, accidental sampling. So uses whatever sample is conveniently available. It is the weakest type. Convenience. Okay, some people are living near your home. You just went there and conducted the research. Convenience based on what is near, and you have less money, you just went there and just you are not bothered about the representation and the quality of the units and what you want to achieve. Then snowball sampling. This is a very important if you want to analyze about a group which you are not part of. They are not too much familiar. If you want to judge the condition of people who are drug trafficker, smugglers, criminals, or some tribe groups you are totally unaware about. So you will go and ask one person, he will give you detail about another person, and like a snowball, you are going from one person to another person. It is used for people who are hard to reach. You can't go and talk with a terrorist. You will find someone who will tell you, okay, you can go there and you can talk to them, why they are doing so, why they are resorting to such aberrant crimes against humanity. We want to analyze it. Sociologists analyze everything, everything. Now, I hope you are very much clear about sampling. Now, let's discuss another concept, that is hypothesis. So, if I have to conduct a research, before that, I will make a tentative statement like the lower the age of female while she is marrying, the more the number of children will be there. This is my hypothesis. A tentative statement between two variables, the age of women and the number of children, say X and Y. Now, I will conduct the research by choosing a sample. I will analyze the result, and then I will see if the result I got is verifying the hypothesis or it is against the hypothesis. Depending on that, my actual theory will come out. So hypothesis is something which will give direction to the entire research. What you want to achieve is very, very important. It should be clear cut. It should not be vague. It should be very clear. That is very important if you want to make a hypothesis. So Theodorson has given a very beautiful definition, a tentative statement asserting a relationship between two facts. Like I gave you the example. Kerlinger has also given a definition, a conjectural statement of the relationship between two or more variables. Webster has also given a definition. You can choose one out of these three and write in your answers. It excludes opinions, value judgments, and normative statements. Normative is what should happen, what can happen. You are not doing that. What can happen, what should happen. We are not here for moral judgments. There are certain criteria for constructing a hypothesis. It should be empirically testable, something which cannot be tested. there is no point of making that kind of hypothesis. It should be specific, as I told you. It should be precise. It cannot be of 10 lines. It should not be self-contradictory. It should not contradict itself. It should specify the variables, what all variables are there. Their interrelationship should be clearly stated. And it should address one issue only. If I want to address about, the number of children, if I want to understand about the anemia condition, if I want to understand about the atrocities against the way, my issue should be one in the hypothesis. I cannot merge 4 or 5 issues together. And it is never phrased as a question. So this is the criteria for constructing a hypothesis. Now let's see the type of hypothesis. There are so many hypotheses. Don't need to go deep into it. Just understand it. Working hypothesis. So it is a preliminary assumption guiding early research design. You are making before starting an actual research, you are making a preliminary tentative relationship. That is called as working hypothesis. Then the second type is research hypothesis. So it is a researcher's proposition believed true and it is put forward to be tested. It is not part of initial. It is part of the later research. When you have formulated everything, you have decided variables, everything is done and dusted, and then you are going for actual research before that it is done. Then there is a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means that one which states no relationship. No relationship. Like education and, say for example, language has no relationship. If I am making this kind of statement, it is called as null hypothesis. It is used to test the research hypothesis. It can be also used. Then alternative hypothesis is exactly opposite of the null hypothesis, where I'm giving a relationship. We can have statistical hypothesis as well, where we are claiming about a population which is expressed in measurable or numerical terms, in mathematical expression. We have scientific hypothesis, which is grounded in theoretical and empirical data. Goode and Hatt has also given levels of hypothesis. So the first they classified was common sense level. Like bad parents produce bad children is a common sense level. There is no scientific evidence for it. Then we can have moderately complex, like crime is caused by differential associations, which was said by Sutherland. Okay, or crime is caused by the different social status. Crime is caused by the how a society is dealing or socializing a person. That is a moderately complex. And then highly complex is multivariable relationship, like fertility is linked to income, values, education, and residence. Here, I have made a highly complex hypothesis. Then what is the characteristic of good hypothesis given by Goode and Hatt? It should be conceptually clear and communicable. It has empirical reference that can be tested, not just moral judgments. It should be specific in scope. Scope should be specific and clear. It should be testable with available techniques. It should be testable. Methods can test that. Otherwise, there is no purpose of making hypothesis. And it should be related to an existing body of theory. That is very, very important. What are the sources of hypothesis? Cultural values of society. Cultural values means, okay, if a cultural value of a society is something which does not accept greed, say for example, so my hypothesis will be based on that moral judgment. I will try to say that if a person is trying to earn more and more income, there is a high chance of committing suicide. It is based on moral judgment of a society. It can vary according to the different moral judgments of society. Or I can make hypothesis if I'm trying to analyze suicide rate in a community. First, what I will do is I will try to read the past researches which has been done on the suicide. Folk wisdom, wisdom based on a tribal culture or a custom, based on the discussions and conversation among my friends, among different researchers, among different professors, based on my own personal experiences, based on my intuitions. So there can be multiple sources of hypothesis. Then what is the function of hypothesis? The very and most important, the primary function of hypothesis is to test the theory, to suggest new theory, to formulate new theories, to describe a social phenomena. If I want to describe a caste system, I need to make a hypothesis. Okay, caste system is serving this purpose. Or is it dysfunctional? I need to make a hypothesis. Then only I will be able to make a theory. Secondary purpose is to inform social policy, refute commonsensical understanding, like males are more intelligent than female. It's a common sense which I want to rebut or refute. I want to signal need for a systematic change, like people who are called as eco-feminists. They are writing theories not just for a purpose of giving theory, but they want a systemic change in terms of how we are seeing the environmental degradation. Like Vandana Shiva had written a book, had conducted a thorough research on ecofeminism. So that can be also the purpose of a hypothesis. I hope you understood it. The next concept is reliability. What is reliability? So it is simply the consistency of a measurement, the degree to which an instrument measures the same way each time, under the same condition, with the same subject. Reliability is estimated, not directly measured. What does it mean? If I'm conducting a research on same population in 2015, 2016, I'm conducting again the same research on the same population. Can the result be replicated in the same manner, in the same condition, in the same subjects? Okay. How you can measure it? This is called as reliability. Reliability estimated, not directly measured. Okay. There is another concept which is called as validity. What is validity? That is the best available approximation to the truth or falsity of a given inference, proposition, or conclusion. In short, are we right? Are we producing the result which is right or not? Reliability is okay. If I have chosen a particular method, the same method, if I am choosing on the same population, can it produce the accurate result or not? Validity is about what I'm producing. Is it right or not? That's the difference between reliability and validity. And these both concepts are used by positivist researchers more. They are more bothered about replicating same thing. They are more bothered about producing theories. If X is changed, Y will happen. They want to predict things. That's why Karl Marx is also categorized as a positivist, because he is also predicting things. If X happens, Y will happen. He is giving futuristic utopia. That is why, despite being part of conflict theory, he is still considered as a positivist. Reliability will test same instrument given twice, correlate the two sets of scores, assume no real change occurred between tests. Okay. There should be an internal consistency. Validity, on the other hand, okay, the conclusion that we have drawn, is it right or not? Is there a relationship between the program and the observed outcome at all? What we have conducted? Is there a causal relationship or not? Can the result be generalized to other settings also? If I have conducted a research on Gone tribes, can it be replicated on Munda tribes? Okay. Does how we operationalized our concepts, is it truly reflecting the underlying construct which we're trying to study? That's how you can understand the validity. So if I have to again compare both the concepts, reliability is consistency of measurement. Does it measure the same way each time or not? Validity is accuracy of measurement. Does it measure what it is supposed to? So first is, does it measure the same way each time or not? Second is more bothered about the results. Okay, or the conclusion. So high reliability plus high validity is the ideal measure. High reliability and we have low validity, it is consistent but consistently wrong, not right. If the research has low reliability and low validity, it is inconsistent and completely off target. And if my research has low reliability and high validity, it is impossible. A fluctuating measure cannot be accurate. So reliability, the consistency of measure, can we measure the same way each time, the same subject with the same method? Validity, how accurate our measurement is. Does it measure what it is supposed to or not? This is the basic difference between reliability and validity. So I hope you understood the concept. The first, we try to understand the variable. What is the purpose of it? What is the categories of variables? Then we also try to understand the qualitative and quantitative variables. We also saw how Therese Baker has categorized the variables. We talked about the relationship among the variable. It can be positive, it can be negative. Then we try to understand sampling. What is the purpose of it? What is the characteristic? What are the objectives? Okay. Then the advantages and the principles of sampling, the types of sampling, probability, non-probability. Within that also we classified it. Then hypothesis, the definition of hypothesis. Then the criteria, the types of hypothesis, the levels of hypothesis. What are the characteristics of a good hypothesis? What can be the source of hypothesis? And then we understood two concepts, reliability and validity. So I hope you are able to understand all the concepts. If you are understanding the concepts, you can like our videos, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can share these videos. It helps us a lot. It motivates me a lot. And I will continue to bring high quality lectures. Thank you very much. Take care. Best.